Hi, Army Pilot here with my latest purchase, a NuCamp 320S Boondock. It's a 2021 version. I'm not going to do a walkthrough because there's plenty of videos out there that go through that. My intent is to show you, if you're a new owner, some of the things you need to be thinking about equipping it with. I've watched probably 20 hours of different videos, lessons learned, and so what I thought I would do is just kind of go through and show you what I've acquired for this camper. And if you want, you can comment below. Tell me what ideas that you have for it as well. So I'm going to start with the front. First thing I did is I invested in the lithium battery by Lion. Yeah, I bit the bullet. It cost me $1,100 more for this little battery, but it's pretty amazing. It's got a little push button. It tells you the charge. It's normally at 80%. It goes to 100% with solar. The next thing, and by the way, we've got it cinched so it won't move around. And also, they didn't come with a cover for the positive side, so I went ahead and made a little rubber cover out of an inner tube. For the propane, I've got the valve that shows the charge. In addition, what's cool about it is that you can use it as a leak detector. So when you turn this off and come back later, if this starts to go down, then you know something is leaking someplace in the vehicle. Close that up. With an expensive battery like that and anything else I might put in there, I want to have some security, and I'll talk a little bit about security as I go through. So I've got a stainless steel hasp from the marine side of the house. It uses 8/32 stainless hardware, and I'll use a little backing plate so that it has additional strength in case somebody decides to try to wrench it open. As we move around, this little antenna is a air TV antenna. I didn't even realize they had air stations, but they do. And it plugs, screws right into, on the tab 320, here into the auxiliary. It actually goes right into the cable. And then there's a satellite and an auxiliary. So it goes right into the cable. And I'll show you what kind of stations you can get with that. I did get a dog bone for the 110. And I'll put links in there for all of the equipment I got. Most of it came from Amazon, some of it came from other places. It came with a 30 amp heavy duty cable. It did come with a 40 and 50 PSI pressure regulator for the water. It's very important that you don't go above 50. But because of the way I am, I went ahead and got a valve that has the pressure so I can tell exactly what's going in there. Pressure coming out of my faucet here at the house is about 60, 65. So I was able to adjust it down with a little screw to get it down to about 40 PSI, which is where I'm comfortable. I got the purge kit so that when I winterize it, I can purge all of the water out using air pressure. I did get a little flexi hose. You're not supposed to use those and keep them fully pressurized, but for filling up the tank, that'll work just fine. Let's walk around to the other side. So I do talk about security here. I did get the boot for the wheel, and I know if a criminal wants to take your camper, they're going to get it, but they're going to make a lot of noise cutting that thing off. And everything that I'm showing you here had pretty high ratings, so I've done some homework. Also have the leveler device, which doubles as braces for the wheels, and I got a double pack of those. So surge protection, I initially bought a surge protector that was about $70 or $80, and then I did some research and found that most surge protectors are not electronic monitoring systems. So there's a few out there that are the high end. This is one of them. It's a Southwire Surge Guard, and this is a model 34930. It's pretty cool because not only does it protect you from surges, which could destroy your electrical, but it has electronic monitoring. So if the voltage drops down to 90 volts, for instance, for more than 10 seconds, it actually shuts the power off to your vehicle and prevents damage. I told you I'd talk about security, and one of the things that I saw was people having their bicycles and other things stolen, and this is a high pilferage item, very expensive, well, relatively expensive. It's about 140 bucks for this one, so you don't want it walking away. So on the side of it, you can see that I've attached, it's a bike alarm that I've velcroed to it. You can velcro this to just about anything. You can see I've got the letter A there because this corresponds to the letter A of this remote. I got two of these and they're on different frequencies. And oh, by the way, they take a little specialized battery for the remote. It's an Alpha 27. So I got a couple extra of those just in case. Let me show you how it works though. You simply arm it. I'm going to press this little lock right here, and it's going to make a little tone. It'll beep one more time. You can set the different alarms, notes, and the decibels and whatnot, but if anybody were to touch this, just to move it just even slightly, it's got a pretty good alarm. If you try to move it again within 15 seconds, it does that, and you've got to press the button to shut it down. All right, so it's really cheap insurance. I think it was like 30 bucks for a double pack of those, and I'm really happy with that. I'll put one of those on the generator and anything else that I don't want walking away. I did get the extension, the 15-foot extension for the propane, which goes in the underneath the back of the camper, and that will power something like the griddle, the Blackstone griddle. We got the 22, and in retrospect, I think it's just too big and heavy, so I'm going to go to the 17. So that one's going to go back, but we love our Blackstone. Doesn't dry anything out. So if you got a Blackstone griddle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As far as the tires and purging the water system, I bought this. It was a highly rated pump. It's got a little light in there as well. High volume. So that does what I need. Again, I'll put some links in there for all of these things. I've got this here as a reminder to show you my the mirror extensions. I've got a Jeep Wrangler that I pull this with. For those that want to know, it pulls it just fine, but my mileage went from 19.2 to 14.2. These extensions are made for the Jeep Wrangler. They work wonderfully, very well made, high quality, as if it came from Chrysler. So that's something you can look at. Let's go inside. Show you a couple things that we found that we really like. One, if you like coffee, you need to look at the Brewtech. The Brewtech French press is amazing. You just simply put your coffee, your hot water in here with your coffee. It's a 3/4 cup for about half of this is what we found works really well. And then you simply press this down as you're, after about 5 minutes, you press it down and it just makes an amazing cup of coffee. You kind of have to pull it back sometimes because it kind of gets a little clogged up with the grounds, but amazing coffee. The next thing was this little expandable sink. You can actually, it actually goes further down. It also makes a cutting board if you lift it all the way up. You can drain, it acts as a colander. So you need to take care of your water, make sure you're not using too much. That works out pretty well. Also, water. We don't intend to drink the water out of the system. We like filtered water, so we'll use reverse osmosis water that we get from the house or whatever. But these are expandable tanks, little jugs. This is about a 2.5 gallon. This is a 5 gallon. I've left it down so you can see how small it is. Works out pretty well. Let's move over to the other areas that I want to show you. One, road atlas. Some of the places you go boondocking, you're not going to have Wi-Fi, you're not going to have any cell phone coverage, so it's good to have paper maps. This road atlas is highly rated. Goes into some of the different wildlife refuges and whatnot, so take a look at that. The solar powered wall light, These were highly rated. It came in a pack of 4. It's like $30. It wasn't that much at all. And these are motion sensor, but you can also set different intensities. You can leave it on so that it's on all night. Everything I've read says it will run all night. But if I cover this up to simulate the darkness, you can see it's pretty bright. And then I've got this one set for a little dimmer just to show you that you can set different intensities. This is the double pack of alarms that I got. There's a bunch of them that sell a very similar alarm. They're all about the same as far as I can tell. But again, it wasn't that much. I think it was like $26 for the pair, maybe a little less. Velcro is your friend. I use it to Velcro everything, from the remotes to things flopping around in the vehicle. I did buy an additional table mount, and so that is a Lagoon, made by Lagoon. It's got the different little wedges. My intent is to place it over here on the entryway. That way when we make the bed, we can simply move the table over, and it also doubles as another area that you can use to when you're cooking. So it'll provide another little counter space. So that'll work out pretty well. I'm going to do a video on some of those installs. Speaking of the bed, when I get our Mattress Insider topper, I'll do a little video on that. We had decided that instead of going all the way back to make it the full queen size bed, we experimented and found that sleeping crossways, which is about 6 feet, was just fine. And so we're getting the 52-inch by 70-inch topper, and it should be coming in hopefully pretty soon. They're about $150. I know that's a little pricey, but it's a really nice Egyptian cotton cover, and it should roll up nicely and install right behind that those cushions that rotate. Also, I wanted to show you the other security. This is a little chime. I've got a piece of tape over it for now because it's pretty loud. But let me show you that you can do an alarm or you can do a chime. I've just set this here on this one so you can see what happens. So if somebody's walking around your place, it'll let you know. So that's kind of cool. The fan, they make a fan for this called, what is it called? The Wonderful or Amazing Fan. I forget the name of it. But they're pretty proud of them. They're like $250. They rotate open. It's got a remote. But what I've done is I bought a resistor so I can adjust the fan. Even though on one it's not so bad, at night it can probably get a little noisy. You can hear that. So we'll put an adjustment on there so we can just tone it down to just really slow. So that's the intent. I may do another video on that. I did talk about the TV and that antenna. Let me turn that on because you're going to be amazed at, I think you'll be amazed at what you get over the air. It's kind of crazy, the amount of stuff you get. Well, let's see. Here it comes.
And I have no idea.
All right. These are all just stations from the air. Just from the air. Oh, look at that. Nothing there. Of course, it's not going to work when you want it to, right?
And I think your great-great-grandfather, he's good.
But anyway, this is all
And
over
when we
there.
started dancing, I actually thought I could talk to her.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think I've got like 27 or 28 stations. Who knew?
Nebraska student who took up Robinhood
Who knew? Anyway, but I'm going to turn that off. But this also plays your iPad. I went ahead and got a connector, an HDMI connector, just to go directly into the Jensen. You can get the remote one, but it was just simpler for me, so that's what I ended up doing. checklist. As you can tell from my name, Army Pilot, I'm really big on checklists. So this is one that credit to Jen Grover, she came up with, and I've gone ahead and modified it somewhat. I'll see if I can put a link or something, or maybe even, I don't know if there's a way that I can attach the one that I did. I just updated it, and this is specifically for the NuCamp 320S, and I really find it's very, very helpful, because if you forget anything, it could be a disaster. I ended up forgetting to lock these windows on the way home, and fortunately it never popped open and broke it off, but golly, that would have been a disaster. Also, little tip, mark all of your keys. You get a bunch of them when you get this. You get the hitch key and the toilet key and the door key, and there's a key for the boot that I've got, and there's one for the rack on the back. But it's nice to have all those things pretty much tied up. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I'd really love to hear what you all think, and some of the ideas that you have for your tab. And yeah, I know I forgot to mention I do have a lock for the hitch, not just here but also for the ball. Anyway, Army Pilot out. Thanks for listening, and do subscribe, won't you?